Okay, we'll begin by foam rolling our calves. So we'll start with our dominant leg seated on the floor, and you'll bring that dominant leg up onto the foam roller, getting into the calf complex. So you're going to roll that out. We'll spend a minute on each side and go ahead and make sure you're breathing as you're doing this. Dorsiflex your foot. We're going to be working on combating the plantar flexion in the ankles since this is a program for flat back posture for actors and singers. So we're rolling out the calves, getting into that complex that's very, very tight posturally for flat back. So after a minute on our dominant side, we'll go to that non-dominant side. Feel free to pick your pelvis up. Fingers can face the buttocks or to the side, just not backwards. We don't want to put a lot of pressure on the joints around our elbows. Keep breathing as you're working here. Stay connected to your lower abdominals and try to not round your low back too much. We want to get some extension into the pelvis to combat that chronic pelvic flexion that causes low back issues. Go ahead and switch sides. We'll move to that non-dominant side, spending a little less time here. And you can internally and externally rotate the leg and the hip socket to get into new fascia, finding areas that are tight. Typically with flat back, we see the whole central hamstring and gastrocnemius being the issue, but the hips and the IT band can also be affected and be pretty tight as well. So we're breathing here, getting into this tissue. And another 20 seconds or so, and then we're going to make our way onto our backs with our anti-burst ball. We'll do a quick release for the hip flexors before we begin our low ab series. So with the anti-burst ball, we're going to place it right under the sacrum. And with it under the sacrum, I want you to arch your back, creating some extension over the ball. So you'll think about that pelvis reaching towards your heels or whatever is in front of you, so you have some lumbar extension. And we're going to go ahead and hug one knee into the chest, extending the opposite leg out long, just to release the hip flexors before we begin our work. They're posturally not very tight with flat back. However, if you're seated for work or travel, they can get tight. And they're also weak. So that's a recipe for disaster. So we're going to loosen them up before we begin the strength work. So go ahead and switch sides after you've done about 3 breaths on each side with that ball under your sacrum. And make sure you hear your breath. And watch out for rounding the low back with the pelvis on the ball. Try to tip it down towards that leg that's extended long, reaching it for whatever is in front of you. Once you've released both hip flexors, let's plant both feet on the ground, solid. And then we're going to bring our hands by our hips, palms facing down. I want you to press the elbows into the floor and let your forearms pop up, creating a dead bug-like look with the forearms, lifted. And from here, we're going to press those elbows into the floor, finding our scapular stabilizers that attach under the armpits. Inhale, bring both legs up into the air. Heels are together, feet are dorsiflexed. Try to maintain that extension in your pelvis. Keep some distance between the chin and the chest. Think about the back body, the upper back pressing into the floor. Exhale, take your non-dominant heel and tap it to the floor. And then inhale, pick it back up. As you exhale and bring that non-dominant heel, we'll stay on that side to the floor. Feel like your inner thighs are pulling down towards the floor. Your pelvis is actually reaching up towards your feet. You've got some lumbar extension. You're tipping it down a little, but also reaching it out and up. Keep your low abs in. And hear your breath. You're doing great. And let's do 4 more on this side. Exhaling to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. 2 more, 2. And last one. And 1. And from here, let's go ahead and switch sides. Beginning immediately on the other side. If you do need to take a break, you can always bring the feet down and do some lumbar extension, arching that back over the ball, but keep going if you can here. Exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. Watch out for tension in the shoulders and the neck, the facial muscles, and the chest. See if you can soften those areas and really lift up through your pelvic floor, the muscles that stop your stream of pee. Those are going to help lift the leg up. We want to drive and initiate from our center. 4 more here. Give me 4 and 3. Almost there. Last 2 and 1. Go ahead and bring both feet to the floor and bring your pointer fingers to the bony protrusions of your hips. I want you to put your fingers on those bony protrusions, and I want you to tick-tock your hips side to side. So it's a lateral movement, side to side. So if your pelvis was a clock, you'd be going to 3 o'clock, back to center, to 9 o'clock, to center. Just getting a little stretch in the QL here. We're opening up that low back, creating more space. So try to not move the limbs and the torso so much as just moving the pelvis. Isolating the pelvic movement side to side. Keep that going. Move at a tempo that is comfortable and relaxing for your body. No quick movements here. Slow and steady. And now let's do a little circular motion. So you'll start and you'll imagine your pelvis as a clock and you're tipping it and moving all the way around. Try to hit all the points. And once you get around back up to 12 o'clock, go ahead and take it in the opposite direction. Just creating some more space. Because we have such a tight low back, we've got to create more space in the lumbar and lift up with our core as we're doing this to keep our low back safe. Give me 2 more circles in each direction. And after you complete those, we're going to grab our lightest loop band and we're going to take it around the arches of our feet. It's actually going to be pinned under your non-dominant foot's arch of the foot, and it'll be around the ankle of your dominant foot. So we can do knee flexion with our pelvis elevated on the ball. So the ball is still under the sacrum, and once you get into that position with the ball under the sacrum, dorsiflex your dominant foot. We'll start with that foot, and it's going to come up to knee flexion slowly with the pelvis elevated. Try to keep that lumbar extension, and exhale, lower it down. So we'll move slowly. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Since I do not have flat back posture, I will lose the band for this one, but since you have flat back posture, you're going to keep going here with the band and really wake up those underactive hip flexors. Dorsiflex your foot, which looks like this, dorsiflex. We're combating that plantar flexion of the ankle. Stay on your dominant side. We want to get in a good amount of repetitions to strengthen those hip flexors. Let's move to our non-dominant side now. Keep your tempo slow. Take at least 3 counts to lift. So inhale, lift, 2, 3, exhale, lower, 2, 3. And as you lift, notice if you round your pelvis. Can you keep it arching over the ball as you lift? We're fighting for lumbar extension. Make sure the head's not lifting up. You don't need to tighten your chest, your face, your shoulders. Keep that soft. Think about the sternum melting towards the floor. Right through the body towards the floor. Close those front ribs. Plug the shoulders down the back. Keep that going. Give me 4 more. 4. Dorsiflex the feet. 3. Nice slow tempo. Last 2. 2. And 1 more. And 1. Let's slowly lift our pelvis up, sliding the ball out, coming up to sit, taking off this lightest loop band. Good job. We're going to grab our foam roller, tying our lightest Theraband a quarter of the way into it and coming into an all fours position. Your knees are going to be on the roller and you're going to load your dominant hand first with the band. So knees on the roller, the hand is loaded, your dominant hand is loaded with the excess of the band. So hands are in front of the roller, knees are on the roller. So from here, we're going to do a little loaded pointer dog. We're going to extend the arm with the band out in front of us to shoulder flexion, and the opposite leg will reach back at the same time. I'd like you to inhale as you pull out and exhale as you bring it in. Let's keep the leg out the entire time with the foot dorsiflexed and just lower and lift the arm. So the arm lowers on a count of 3 and it lifts on a count of 3. Shoulder stays plugged down, chin, keep that distance between the chest. Shoulders are plugged down, 4, keep that going, and 3. Should be on your dominant arm, 2 more, 2. Abs are tight, pelvis is steady, and 1 more, 1. Let's go to the non-dominant side. We'll spend a little longer on that side, flipping the roller. Watch out for shoulder elevation here. Watch out for the belly hanging out. Keep your belly pulled in tight towards the spine, pelvic floor muscles up. Keep a little extension in your pelvis. So try to arch your low back without pushing the belly out. Some lumbar extension here for flat back posture. Dorsiflex the foot that's back. Palms should be facing in towards the face when that arm comes up. Thumb up towards the ceiling. Keep that going. 5 at a very slow tempo. 4 more. 4. Building strength in our shoulders, our transverse abdominis, our lower pelvic floor, the dorsiflexion in the feet. 2 more. Nice breathing. And last one. And 1. From here, we're going to grab our anti-burst ball and we're going to rise up onto our knees on the roller. We'll flip the roller around so that we can load our dominant arm again with the band, but we'll be up on our knees with our feet dorsiflexed and the ball in between our inner thighs. So you're going to take lateral flexion. The arm that is not loaded with the band will start with a side bend. And then the arm that has the band is going to be the bottom arm is going to lift up and it's going to load that lateral flexion, helping you recruit your lats here and your external obliques. So watch out for twisting here. I want the whole body square to me, square to the screen. Shoulders plugged down. If the neck is straining, you can always turn the chin and look down on the diagonal and bring it back up on your inhale. Move into the stretch on your exhale. That's just your upper arm comes up. And then you inhale, lift that bottom arm up to frame your face. Hold it here. Exhale that air out. Stay. Inhale. And exhale. And now coming up on the inhale. So we spend 1 full breath in lateral flexion, isometrically holding. When you're ready, come into the stretch first for the side body. Exhaling into it. Inhale to load. Plug the shoulders down. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Exhale, hold, and inhale. Bring it back up. Shoulders plugged down as you come up. Squeeze that ball with the inner thighs. Really dorsiflex the toes. Extra challenge. Try it again. Same side. Side bending. Add the bottom arm. See if you can lift the opposite toes of the arm that's loaded up. Keep the abs in. Don't twist the torso. Stay square to the screen. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Coming out of that slowly. Go ahead and switch sides, setting up on your non-dominant side for some extra repetitions. Once you've set up, you can begin. I'm going to remind you of some checkpoints. Remember, we're doing an isometric hold, so you're holding for a full inhale and exhale. You're always lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale, and that includes lowering into the stretch. That includes lifting the bottom arm up on the inhale. Try to synchronize the movement with the breath. Watch out for the eyes. If your head goes forward, it's going to throw the whole body out of alignment. Imagine my hands on your pelvis and I'm pulling your pelvis towards the roller. So I want the side body to lengthen. I don't want the QL to get tight. I don't want the obliques to squeeze in and up. I want them to pull down, long, long torso. Keep breathing here. Do 2 more full sets. Finish up those 2 sets, focusing on the quality with the abs pulled in, shoulders plugged down the back, collarbone wide, chin lifted, focus of the eyes a little higher than eye level at all times. And once you've completed that, we're going to come into a side lying position with a 3-pound weight and our anti-burst ball under our head, the side of the head, the temple, just to support it. Start with your dominant arm on top so that we can load it with the weight. And you can be in a nice fetal position. Just make sure your low back isn't rounding. Tip your tailbone back here. Create a mouse hole between your side body and the floor by plugging your shoulders down. The bottom arm can reach forward, kind of like Frankenstein. And the loaded arm, I want you to pin the elbow to the side of the body. Keep the wrist flat and lift the forearm up for external rotator cuff exercise here. And we'll lower it down slowly on the exhale. Inhale, lift it up. Make sure the elbow stays pinned to the body. Abs stay in tight. And you'll notice if you break the wrist that it'll become more of a wrist exercise. You should feel it behind the shoulder, not in front. If you're feeling the front of the shoulder, perhaps lighten the weight or take a chest stretch, pec minor, major, or anterior delt stretch, which you've seen with all of the other programming you've gotten a hold of through the YouniquelyFit app. Keep going here. 4 more. 4 and 3. Slow. Shoulders down the back. Abs engaged here. And 2. And last one. Set that weight down. Extend your legs long here like you're between 2 panes of glass. Dorsiflex your feet. Bring your top hand to your hip. Inhale. On your exhale, we're going to flutter the legs. So inhale, lift the legs up. And exhale, straight legs, dorsiflexed feet, fluttering the legs, scissor legs. Flutter, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Keep the legs up. Inhale, lengthen them longer. Exhale, flutter them. 2, 3, 4. Scissor legs. So they're going forward and back. Inhale. Exhale, flutter. 2, 3, 4. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale, flutter. 2, 3, 4. Slowly make your way up to the second side, beginning with our fetal position for our external rotator cuff exercise loaded with the 3-pound weight. Check your mouse hole between your side body and the floor. You've got to feel like I have a hold of your pelvis and I'm now pulling it down towards your feet. Keep it long. Plug the shoulders down, pull the abs in, and begin when you're ready. Inhaling to lift that forearm up without breaking at the wrist. Exhale to bring it back down. Small movement. Watch out for shoulder tension, neck tension, facial muscles soft. Don't check out with the low abs. Keep them pulled in. Relax the front ribs though, and the pecs. Keep those soft. You're doing great. 4 more here. The slower the better, the more strength you're going to build. 3 more. 3 and 2. And last one. And 1. Go ahead and set the weight down, bringing your hand to your hip. Lengthen your legs out long. Remember that image of being between 2 panes of glass. We don't want to hit them, so no rocking forward or back. Dorsiflex the feet. When you're ready, feel like the pelvis is reaching towards the feet. Inhale the legs up. Exhale, the inner thighs pull back as you flutter the legs. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pelvis pulls towards the feet. Exhale, inner thighs pull back as you flutter. 2, 3, 4. Keep it small. Dorsiflex the feet. Inhale. Exhale, flutter. 2, 3, 4. One more set. Inhale. And exhale, flutter. 2, 3, 4. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Good job. We're moving into lower body series for flat back. We're going to begin with some hamstring flexibility. Grab your heaviest Theraband and your anti-burst ball. You're going to place the anti-burst ball under your sacrum, and you're going to use this heaviest Theraband to begin with your dominant leg, and you're going to lift that leg up, placing the band around the arch of the foot. We're elevating the pelvis for more space for the lumbar. I just want to make sure that we're not crunching the low back by lying flat on the floor. So with the pelvis elevated, there's room for you to reach the tailbone towards the feet, arching the low back. So lying on our backs, ball under the sacrum, dominant leg up. We put the band, this heaviest band, around the arch of the foot, and we take our hamstring stretch here, dorsiflexing the foot. Inhale and exhale, moving the leg towards you a little bit more without rounding your low back. So you need to be able to keep extension in the pelvis. So no rounding the pelvis on the ball. Tip it down towards the wall in front of you. And hear your breath, inhaling and exhaling. We'll be here for another 20 seconds. Hamstrings can be a major issue with flat back. We want to open them up before we begin any strength work for the front of the legs, those hip flexors and the quadriceps. Those are our focus areas for strength, but we're going to be spending a good amount of time with flexibility before we begin any strength. Go ahead and switch sides, taking your time, slowly lowering the leg. Once it's down, then the other leg can come up. So you have the challenge of balance being here on the ball, having to use and recruit the lower pelvic floor. So use this as a chance to initiate movement from your center so that the limbs don't have so much pressure and weight to bear. Dorsiflex your foot, getting a nice stretch for your calf complex as well. And keep checking in with your pelvis. Is it rounding? Can you get a little more lumbar extension? Watch out for the shoulders elevating up or pulling forward because of the band you're holding. So you can hold the band underhand so it's a little more biceps engaged instead of pulling and recruiting the upper shoulder that's already overactive. Breathe here and hear your exhales. One more breath. Non-dominant side doesn't need as long. Let's move to a piriformis stretch. So I'm going to have you now place the ball under your head. Due to flexibility issues, this is a better position because you won't strain your neck. We're going to cross our dominant leg, dorsiflexing the foot, over our non-dominant thigh, coming into a pretzel-like stretch, reaching through the hole to grab our hamstring of the bottom leg, and holding it here. So thread the hands through, grabbing the hamstring and pulling it towards you. Use the elbow, the same elbow as the leg that's on top, to open up that thigh. So to push it out and away from you, getting a little more opening in that glute med area, and breathe here. 4 more inhales and exhales. We're going to get deep into our glute med and the IT band attachment in our standing series. So I want to start opening up those hips now so they're prepared for the balance work we're going to do. Go ahead and switch sides. Setting up on the other side, dorsiflexing your foot, always working on the footwork as well, reaching for that hamstring. Watching the low back here, try to find some lumbar extension. We're on the floor now. Is your low back rounding? Can you take one hand and see if there's some space you can create between the floor and the low back by tipping the tailbone forward? Pull the abs in to do this. Try to initiate that pelvic movement from your lower pelvic floor, pulling in and up. Hold it here. Deep breathing. You're doing great. I know how hard it is to get deep into these stretches and to relax. It could be harder than the strength work stretching. So just stay with your breath and know that you're doing good work for your body. You're going to feel great afterwards. All right, let's go ahead and come out of that pretzel stretch. We're going to grab the anti-burst ball now from under the head, and I'd like you to hug your dominant knee into your chest and take it across the body, placing it on the ball to your side, coming into a supine twist. So we're twisting. We're going to use the ball. If our knee can't touch the floor, we're going to use the ball on the floor. Turn your head away from the leg that's twisted across the body, just for a neck stretch here. Breathing in. Again, we're getting into the low back, really tight area for flat back. Flexibility issues are the biggest problem with flat back posture. So we spend more time on flexibility than strength, but we spend very focused time on the areas that you are weak so that you don't injure yourself. And we balance out that flexibility. We balance the body out. Go ahead from here and exhale as you make your way by bracing your abs to the other side, coming into that twist. As you're breathing, breathe here, plug the shoulders down, turning the head away from the leg that's twisted across the body. You've placed the knee on the ball, and you're breathing here. Inhale. And exhale to go a little deeper. Watch out for the low back here. Create a little extension, reaching the pelvis towards the feet, pulling the core in. You can breathe laterally into the rib cage, opening up the lats here. On the side that's towards the sky, breathe in and exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. And slowly make your way out of that stretch. We're going to roll our IT band now. Begin with your dominant leg. You'll be in a side plank, getting into that outer hip and thigh. Forearm down. Try to not collapse into the forearm that's down. Breathe into it. So it's an upper body workout too here. As you move forward and back, you're going to use your ab strength, your lat strength. So active stretching here, releasing our IT band. So breathe into that. We'll be here for 30 seconds, and then we're going to switch sides. Make sure that you're not dropping your head. Keep your head up on your spine. Pull the abs in to support the low back. Go ahead and switch sides, setting up on the other side. If you need longer on your dominant side, feel free to stay there. But if you feel ready to switch, go ahead and switch. So we're breathing, we're moving with the breath. You can rock forward and back. You can walk forward and back. You can twist the torso to get into fascia. Find the tight spots, work your way into them, and hear your breath. Just one more breath here, and we're going to make our way up to standing. We're going to do a little hip flexor and quad work. You're going to stand on your foam roller. We're going to bring it by a wall. I'd like you to tie your lightest Theraband a quarter of the way into it and have that excess of the band farthest away from the wall. So the circular part is right by the wall, and you're going to bring your lightest loop band around your ankles. I don't have flat back posture, so I'm not going to put the loop band on, but it looks like this. You put it on the ankles, and you're going to keep it on. And we're going to come over to the wall. You're going to take the lightest Theraband into your outside hand and bring your inside hand to the wall. Stepping onto the roller, feet hip distance apart, soft bend in the knees. You're going to take your inside leg, dorsiflexing it up to knee flexion. Take your outside arm up to shoulder flexion into a press. Hold it here. Keep your chin up. Gaze forward. Dorsiflex the lifted leg. Lower the leg slowly, and then pick it back up on an inhale and lower it down on your exhale. Pick it up on the inhale. Lower it down on the exhale. Stay connected to your core. Use your core to lift that leg. Good. Find a little extension of the pelvis, but soften the supporting knee before you do so. Plug your shoulders down. 4 more. 4 and 3. Hear your breath. 2 more. 2 and last 1 and 1. Let's slowly make our way off of the roller, coming to the other side. Careful getting up on your non-dominant side. Keep your knees soft. And from here, focus up. Inside leg is our working leg. Outside arm is loaded. Lifting that leg up on your inhale. Lowering it on your exhale. Lift on the inhale. And lower on the exhale. 4 more. 4 and 3. Keep that going. 2 and last 1 and 1. Slowly make your way off. Good job. From here, I would like you to grab your lightest loop band and bring it around your wrists. You're going to stand center. We're just going to take a quick stretch for the hip flexors and the side body before we begin our first standing series. So with it around the wrist and the arms overhead, we're going to cross one foot behind the other. Whatever foot you've crossed, I want you to side bend away from that side and push your pelvis forward at the same time. So whatever leg is crossed behind, you're bending in the opposite direction of that leg. And we're going to hold that, pushing the pelvis forward. Quick opening for the hip flexors. If you didn't do the lower body series and you're logging in just for the standing work, I want to make sure those hip flexors are released before we begin our work. Go ahead and switch sides. This is just a quick release. Setting up, you can pull those forearms, the wrists out on the band to activate your scapular stabilizer, your serratus anterior. You'll feel the shoulder blades coming together and that recruiting. Plug the shoulders down the back. Make sure you're breathing. 2 more breaths here. Once you've completed that, let's take that lightest loop band and bring it back around the ankles. Looks like this. I do not have flat back posture, so I won't be using it, but you're going to use it because it's great for your hip flexor strength. You're going to step back onto the roller. I've tied the lightest Theraband 1/4 of the way in. We're going to hold it in our dominant hand to start. Actually, no, we're not going to use the band. We're going to just use the loop band. We're going to step onto the foam roller. Start with your dominant leg on the outside because that's going to be our standing leg. So make sure your dominant leg is on the outside. You don't need the Theraband. We're stepping up. The loop band is around the ankles. And we're going to take our outside hand to our hip for now. And our inside leg, you're going to lift to knee flexion, recruiting the quad and hip flexor. From here, that outside arm, you're going to inhale, prepare, exhale. You're going to twist towards the wall, giving me 4 punches, 4 and 3 with that outside hand, 2 and 1. Inhale and punch again, twisting across the body for 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lower the leg, inhale, prepare, feel the pelvis pull down. Exhale, lift that leg and give me those punches, crossing the body. 2 and 3. Inhale, feel like I have your pelvis. I'm pulling it down, stabilizing you. Move on your exhale with the twists. So you have the option to lower the leg at the end of those punches, or you can keep it up for the full series. So make sure the core is engaged. We're only punching and twisting towards the wall on our exhales. The leg remains in knee flexion or it lowers at the end and lifts back up on the inhale. So when the leg lifts up, the pelvis pulls down in opposition. The torso stays long. Give me 1 more. After you complete this, slowly step off and let's make our way to the other side. So we're recruiting the TVA here, the quads and hip flexors. Watch out for shoulder elevation. Watch out for your head dropping forward. Keep your focus up a little higher than eye level. When you're ready, exhale, twist. Give me those punches. Torso twisting from the rib cage. Imagine my hands on your pelvis. Your pelvis is pulling down to the roller at all times. It's not moving with the upper body as you twist. The head is going along for the ride with the upper body though. The foot is dorsiflexed. A lot of moving parts here, but we're working on coordination, balance, strength. Give me 2 more sets on this non-dominant side. Inhale, ground yourself. Exhale, punch and twist. 2. Focus on the dorsiflexion of the lifted foot. The foot that's on there has got to be nice and steady. You got to push down to stay up. After you complete this one, we are going to grab our 3-pound weight, stepping off. We're going to keep the band around the ankles. And with the 3-pound weight, we're going to step up to the first side, the side where your dominant leg is outside, because it's, again, going to be our standing leg. So we're going to be stepping in the frontal plane to balance. Our outside hand is loaded with a 3-pound weight, and you're just going to hold an external rotator cuff position with the arm, elbow pinned to the side of the body, just keeping that position. Start close to the wall, and I want you to step your outside leg towards the end of the roller where you can still touch the wall with your inside hand, coming into knee flexion as we have been, and just finding your balance here. If you can find your balance and bring that inside arm, the elbow into the external rotator cuff position, do so. If that's too precarious, stay where you are today. Keep your abs engaged. Inhale and exhale. Breathing, inhale, pelvis pulling towards the roller, inner thighs pulling back, exhale, abs pulling in and up. Inhale, step once again towards the wall on the roller. And again, stepping to that unilateral balance on your dominant leg, finding it immediately, testing it out, seeing where you are. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Slowly stepping off the roller, making your way to the second side. You're doing great. At all times, make sure you're breathing. Your knees are soft. You're focusing on what you're doing because you're standing on a roller. We want to be safe. You're stepping into a single leg balance. Now on the non-dominant side. Extra precautions here. Hold on. Use your abs. Pull the core in. Inhale, ground yourself. Exhale, feel those abs pulling in and up. Widen your collarbone. Plug the shoulders down. Lift your chin up a little higher. Gaze forward with the eyes. Okay, last time on this side, step close again. Stepping to that single leg balance. Notice where your pelvis is. Are you hiking your hips? Try to keep those hips even. The elbows that are digging in, or the elbow that's digging into the side of the body, notice if that hip's hiked. Keep it even. Those bony protrusions of your hips are shining like headlights to the wall in front of you. Slowly, we're going to make our way off, setting the props to the side, moving into a wall, calf, and pec major stretch. Come by the wall profile, stepping your inside leg into a calf stretch for your gastrocnemius. So standing profile by the wall, and then taking the inside arm into a T behind you, opening up the pec major at the same time, twisting the upper body away from that arm, driving the pelvis forward at the same time, breathing here. We're getting in an upper and lower body stretch. Both are areas that are posturally tight for flat backs, so we're going to spend time opening them up, breathing here. And the calves get quite a workout standing on the stability device, but it's really more the soleus that's working than the gastrocnemius, and that's your internal calf muscle. So we will release that in a bit, and it's a different type of stretch. So hold this another 3 inhales and exhales, and then slowly take the arm off the wall. Be careful when you're taking the arm off because the shoulder is a tight area. And then turning around, finding your calf stretch first on the other side, and then bringing the arm to the wall. I find that this order is better for my body. I tend to hike my hips when I come into a lunge, so I like to square my pelvis first, get that calf stretch going, and then add the pec major stretch. So hold that here. We've got a minute on the clock. We're going to allow our pelvis to pull towards the floor, our inner thighs to pull back, pulling us deeper into the posture. If you feel knee pain, Notice your feet. Where is the pressure? Is it all laterally on the lateral intrinsic muscles of the feet? Can you put some weight in the bone of the big toe and the heels? Lift up through your pelvic floor. Use your core to take some of the weight off the legs. 2 more breaths here. And good job. We're going to begin a squat series. So for our squat series, you're going to tie your lightest Theraband to 1/4 of the way into your roller, and we're going to step up onto it. I want you to start with your non-dominant hand loaded with the band. So it'll be on the outside and it's in your non-dominant hand. Step on up when you're ready, and you're going to cross your inside foot to the outside of your outside leg's thigh. Coming into this pretzel piriformis position we see in yoga, opening up the glute med. So the inside leg crosses on top of the outside thigh, and the outside arm moves into scaption, into a V position in front as the tailbone reaches back and the outside knee bends. So you sit back into this posture. We're going to hold it here. Inhale, plug the shoulders down, and exhale. Brace the abs. Inhale, tip the tailbone back. Exhale, inner thighs pull you deeper into the posture. Inhale, imagine someone's pulling your pelvis down towards the roller on each inhale. Inner thighs are pulling back to the wall behind you on your exhales. Plug the shoulder down. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, hang in there, and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. And slowly make your way off the roller. We'll switch sides. Be mindful that the next side is your non-dominant leg. It's going to be harder to stabilize, so get closer to the wall if you need to for security. If you're too scared to do it on the roller today, do it on the floor. And you can stand on the band instead of on the roller, but give it a try. This is really good for the lower pelvic floor, for opening up the hip. The arm is chest height in scaption. Just working the back of the shoulder here. Plug the shoulders down, keep the abs engaged. Shoot to tip the tailbone back, but pull the abs in so that doesn't throw you off the roller. Breathe here. Dorsiflex that foot that's lifted on the thigh. Inhale. And exhale. You're almost there. Hang in there. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And last breath. Inhale. And slowly make your way off of the roller. Let's come back to our dominant leg side, and you are going to take that band, the Theraband, again into the hand because we're going to bring it into shoulder flexion. We're stepping up, doing a transverse plane exercise. So I'd like you to take the lightest loop band and put it back around your ankles. I do not have flat back posture, so I won't be using the band, but it looks like this. Put it on, and then come over to the wall, taking that Theraband that's tied to your roller into your outside hand as before. And now turn and face the wall. Turn and face the wall, standing on the floor. And from here, the leg that's closest to the roller, imagine you're facing the wall and you're at 12 o'clock facing, your body is facing like a clock. And now you're going to take that inside leg to 3 o'clock, stepping it onto the roller, bringing, the outside leg onto the roller. Inside leg comes up to knee flexion. And you're just going to find your balance here. Arm all the way overhead, shoulder flexion. Hold. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Test your balance. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. And go ahead and step down slowly, facing the wall. So we're doing a quarter turn to a unilateral balance. This is for injury prevention and also sports enhancement. If you can turn and stabilize, you have a lot more dynamic power when you're moving through space. So we're working to improve functional movement here. Pull the core in. And since this is for actors and singers, we know that we have to move across the stage doing various things, and you want to make sure your center is under you. Your voice is supported as you move through space. Hold that position, and let's take it to the other side. Setting up on the other side. Now be extra careful here. Get close to the wall. Use your abs. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, and inhale to step up. pulling the pelvis towards the roller as you step up for safety. Thinking about that grounding of your pelvis. Tip the tailbone back, pull the low abs in and up. Hold it here. Inhale and exhale. Stay one more breath. Inhale, gaze up and exhale, and slowly step off. Last time on our second side. Be very careful here. Stepping up as you inhale, bracing your abs, pulling your inner thighs back to stabilize you even more. Plug the shoulders down, widen the collarbone. Imagine the sternum reaching through the body towards the shoulder blades, closing those front ribs. Hear your breath and slowly stepping off. We're going to move into a calf pedaling exercise that'll engage the lower pelvic floor and stretch out our calves, both the gastrocnemius and soleus. So you're going to take off the loop band, step onto the foam roller, and load your outside arm coming into that shoulder flexion we were just in, arm overhead, feet hip distance apart here. If you're advanced, you can have the legs together completely. You're going to inhale, metatarsals on the roller, heels are hanging a bit off. Pull your abs in as those heels come off. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pedaling the feet, bending one knee and then the other, dropping the heels down. Go very slow, very slow. On your inhale, you stop. You feel your pelvis pull towards the roller. On your exhale, you pedal. Heel, one heel going down and then the other. So you're not picking your foot up and articulating the foot so much and pointing it. It's really more about the calf stretching, bending one knee and then the other, driving the heels down. Watch that the hips don't turn. Keep the pelvis square to the wall in front of you. Pull the pelvis down a bit more than you think and just breathe here. Keep that going. I like to inhale, pause, exhale, pedal. Inhale, pause to ground. Exhale, pedal. Two more. Inhale, pause. And exhale, pedal. And one more. Inhale, pause. And exhale, pedal. Stay on this side. Just drop the band. You don't need that. Just drop it to the floor. Stay standing on the roller. We're going to cross the outside leg behind our inside leg on the roller. So bend your knees to do this. You'll be close to the wall. Take your outside arm and reach for the wall, coming into a side body stretch. So we did this stretch in the opening on the floor of our standing series. Now we have the challenge of really using our core in this position. Imagine me holding your hips and pulling them down towards the roller. Bend the knees so you don't lose your balance. Opening up the lats here, recruiting the lower pelvic floor. The more the pelvis goes forward with the abs engaged, the more the hip flexors open, and we've done a lot of hip flexor work. 3 more breaths. Inhale, 1, breathe. Exhale, 1. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. Inhale, pelvis pulls down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. Bend your knees before you step off, and let's come to the other side. We'll start with our calf pedaling. So outside arm is loaded in shoulder flexion. Feet are hip distance apart unless you're advanced. Feet can be together if you're advanced. Use the lower abs. Plug your shoulders down. Keep your focus up. Remember, metatarsals on the roller, heels hanging off. The minute you check out with your lower abs, that's when the roller's going to roll out and you're going to have your feet on the floor. I don't want any kersplats, so I need to see deep lift of the pelvic floor here. I speak from experience, so use your low abs. That roller wants to come out from underneath you. Inhale, pull the pelvis down. Exhale, inner thighs pull back and you pedal. 2, 3, 4. And it's smaller than you think. It's just one knee bending and one heel dropping. There doesn't have to be movement in the shoulders or the torso or even the pelvis. Try to pull the pelvis down to the roller. Give me one more. And go ahead and drop that band. Bend the knees as much as you can and cross the outside foot towards the inside foot, bending the knees, taking the outside arm to the wall, into our lateral flexion. Pelvis pushes forward, abs pull in, and we hold it here. Inhale, 1, breathe. Exhale, 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Slowly make your way off of the roller. Good job. We're going to move into a lunge series. I'd like you to grab your lightest loop band and you're going to come over to a wall. You are going to take your forearms onto the foam roller facing the wall. The loop band is around your upper arms above your elbows, and you're going to plant your forearms on the roller, pulling out on that band. Some people actually like the band around the wrists and forearms, and some like it above the elbow. See where it feels best. I want you to get super close to the wall, and the roller should be chest height when you begin. You're stepping back into a lunge. Keep your dominant leg forward and step your non-dominant leg back. You may have to readjust the roller once you step into a deep lunge. Now, see if you can get your front leg close enough that you can lift your upper body upright, not pitch forward with the upper body. And from here, we're going to roll that roller up, pulling out on that band, and we're going to exhale it back down. So we're recruiting the serratus anterior and the quads as we stay in this deep lunge, stretching out the gastrocnemius at the same time. You can bend your back knee a little and get into the soleus if you want to stretch out that soleus. And we'll be here for a full minute, so check in with your breath. Inhale as those arms go up, and it's only about 5 inches or maybe even less than that, up and down. Starting point is when you're in line with your chest, and it goes about as high as the shoulders, and then you pull down. Very small range of motion. Make sure you're pushing down into the roller with the forearms and pulling out. So you push down and out, and that'll help you recruit those scapular stabilizers. Keep going. Give me 4 more. 4 and 3. Hear your breath. 2 and last one. 1. Stepping forward, switching sides. Now, if the arms are fatiguing, you can take the band off if it's become too much. If you can handle another minute, keep it on. It's just going to build strength. Keep your focus up as high as eye level, if not a little higher. That'll help keep those neck extensors from over-engaging. Plug the shoulders down the back. Remember, you can always bend the back knee to get into the soleus here. If you're feeling knee discomfort, check your foot out, that front foot. Push evenly through all 5 metatarsals. Make sure there's weight in the heel as much as the front of the foot. Keep going. Give me 5 and 4. Almost there. 3. Last 2. And 1 more. 1. Go ahead and grab your 3-pound weight. You're going to place the roller by the wall. We're going to come to stand on it. Bring your lightest loop band around your ankles. This is going to help strengthen your hip flexors. I do not have flat back posture, so I will not be using it, but it looks like this. Go ahead and step up. Your dominant arm is loaded. Let's actually load your non-dominant arm. And you're just going to take it into a shoulder press, non-dominant arm loaded, so that means your dominant leg will be on the outside. So from here, take knee flexion with your inside leg and bring that weight actually down to the side of the body. What I'd like you to do is side bend towards the outside and then lift back up. So exhale down, inhale lift. And if that leg fatigues, you can lower and lift the leg as well. You can synchronize it with the upper body work. So we're doing some lateral flexion here for your external obliques, but you're also getting the internal obliques because of the stability challenge. We're getting into the quadriceps and the hip flexors with that loop band around your ankles. Give me 4 more. 4. Breathing 3. Watch out for the head moving wayward. Keep the head up on the spine. You can always turn the head on the diagonal and look down if that feels better on the neck. Plug the shoulders down the back. Watch out for twisting. Bending is the torso stays square to the wall in front of you. No twisting. Keep the abs engaged. Let's switch sides. Setting up on the other side, lateral flexion with knee flexion for the quads and hip flexors. When you're ready, go ahead and begin. Give me 8 and 7. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. And 6. Imagine your pelvis pulling towards the roller. 5, 4, 3 more. 3 and 2. Last one. 1. Good. So from here, we're going to set that weight down and do our final step to balance in the sagittal plane. We'll be stepping forward to balance and backwards to balance. Come back over to your roller, load your outside arm with the band again, and take it into shoulder flexion. Lightest loop band is around your ankles for your hip flexors. Since you have flat back posture, you're going to step to knee flexion, stepping your outside leg up, pressing that outside arm up at the same time, finding your balance. Hold it here. So outside leg is down and the inside leg is up, finding your balance. So the loaded arms leg is down. Breathe here. Inhale 1 and exhale 1. Test your balance. Inhale 2, dorsiflex the foot. Exhale 2, focus up eye level, inhale, and step in front of your roller. We're going to be stepping backwards. This is the ultimate challenge. Go ahead and place your outside foot on the roller. Inhale, prepare. Exhale for me, and then inhale, stepping up, pulling the pelvis towards the roller. Finding it immediately, pull the abs in. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. And exhale 3, taking it down slowly. Let's switch sides. Good work. Getting into those hip flexors, really working the TVA and pelvic floor. Watch out for the shoulders. Keep them together, shoulder blades together, without spraying the rib cage forward. Go ahead when you're ready, stepping that outside foot up. Inhale, lift, pelvis pulls to the roller. Exhale, inner thighs pull back, pelvic floor lifts up. Inhale, shoulders plug down. Exhale, abs pull in and up. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, soften the facial muscles. Step forward in front of the roller. This will be the scary one. So I want that outside foot on the roller. Inhale, prepare. Exhale. Inhale, stepping up. Pull the pelvis down towards the roller. Pull the low abs in. Find the balance. Hold. Inhale 1. Breathe. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. And exhale 3, slowly making your way off of the roller, setting your props to the side. Grab a chair. We're going to end with a chair hip flexor stretch. You can add lateral flexion for your lats to open them up some more. Seated profile in the chair so that the side of the body is by the top of the chair. One butt cheek on the chair, one butt cheek off. Outside arm comes up. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, side bending towards the top of the chair. Notice the weight distribution in the feet. Is it even, or is there more pressure in the back foot or front foot? Even it out. If I grab that chair out from under you, you would still be in a lunge because you're active in your legs here. You can take that outside hand to the hip and check that the hips aren't hiking, or even your inside hand to the hip and see if you can pull that hip down towards the floor, grounding yourself. Hold it here. Inhale. And exhale, deepening into the stretch. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, slowly make your way to the other side, setting up for our final stretch. If it feels nice to close your eyes and do a little belly breathing here, as long as you don't have any chronic back issues. You can relax your nervous system this way by breathing into the belly. If you have back issues, I'd encourage you to really keep lifting up on the pelvic floor since your back is in extension here. We want to keep it safe. This extension should feel great with flat back posture because we're always in that chronic pelvic flexion, but we want to support it with the lift of the muscles that stop your stream of pee. Hear your breath. That outside arm, if it fatigues, you can do some shoulder rolls with the hand down by the side. Arm circles slowly. You can turn the chin on the diagonal down. Let's all make our way to a comfortable seated position in the chair, rolling our shoulders back for 10, and 9. Sitting up tall, 8. On the top of your sits bones, 7. Legs together, inner thighs engaged, collarbone wide, chin lifted, gaze up a little higher than eye level. 3, 2, and 1. Good job.